right, we're about to hop into Champion Select here for game number 3 between Rutgers University and the University of New Hampshire. Let's see if I have these sides up correct. This is correct, right? Yeah, UNH on the red side and Rutgers on blue.
Yeah. Rutgers gonna ban the Warwick again. Wouldn't be surprised if we also see a Zach and Saya ban. Speak of the devil. There's one of the Venice too. So yeah, let's see if that happens again. I wonder if they're gonna.
So that
because last game is Rutgers that banned Volibear.
Yeah, they were probably expecting a UNH first pick Volibear, because that puzzled me a little bit too. I was like, why haven't they banned why hasn't UNH banned Volibear yet? But yeah, if that's what they wanted to go for,
they do have first pick here. So like in this situation, it's now Rutgers has the ability to first pick it, so they're not really in a pressure to ban it, especially considering how well Anda's did on it.
True, but if you first pick something like a Volibear, do you run into the enemy team has gold card, black shield, buster shot problem again?
Picking best cannon in A was a Volibear. They're out of order.
Yeah, they're out of order. Like they wanted to do some, maybe they wanted to do some trading or something like that.
Maybe. Because I'm not the biggest fan of the fill picks where it's like, oh yeah, this Annie, that's technically a Shin Zhao, by the way. And then after you do that, and after you explain to the spectators, yeah, that Annie there is a Shin Zhao, it's like, then everybody dodges and you have to redo the entire champ select. It's like, wow, guess what? They're paying this, they're paying this.
Yeah, that's a...
Well, it's just added to the 3 minutes
That's
delay.
a throwback to like IPL back in 2011 or whatever tournaments that they had going on back there. To fill out the entire champion select and then restart the entire thing because the captain wouldn't have all the champions. Right. There's Volibear. But we've seen...
Yeah, that's
we've seen UNH. They did have quite the response to the whole single initiator on the enemy team wants to run really fast in one direction towards our carries thing. So...
Yeah, Morgana wasn't banned here, so they could actually pick it up early here, because if it gets to the second ban rotation...
Tristana's up too, but they've elected to give Kog'Maw instead. Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, Kog'Maw, especially after the little compensation buffs he got, he's back up to top 2. Like, he's probably second too. And there is the Lulu. So you got that infamous Lulu combo, but Lulu can also shut down Volibear engaged, kind of similar to Morgana, where Morgana like shields who she thinks will be the flip target. Lulu just says you're a cupcake now and polymorphs you, so you can't flip.
Yeah, cupcakes can't flip shit. But at the same time, Rolling Thunder lasts for longer than a polymorph does. So if Lulu uses that, this is Volibear. At least from what I've seen, Volibear is able to run a lot faster than Skarner. He's able to build things like. I think last game number 1 he had Dead Man's Plate, and Rolling Thunder just gives you more movement speed towards enemy champions than the shield on Skarner's side.
Yeah, we see Tristana Alistar that is gonna give Rutgers side a really nice early all-in bot lane. For those who are not familiar, Tristana has one hell of an all-in starting level 2. Just being able to jump on someone, stack the bomb with a teammate that CCs them, and then just being able to jump again. Yeah. That's pretty nifty.
She's got a lot of base damage on her abilities, even just 2 levels into the game. And Galio's going to get picked up by Dioker, so this was banned last game. I'm not sure about game 1. GP is actually going to get taken away, so this might be something that they've seen in a player history, because GP has neither been picked nor banned this entire time.
Yeah, because GP did receive some decently heavy nerfs in 8.4. Most notably I think only the barrel duration getting cut from 60 seconds down to 25.
Yeah, rough.
If you're a GP main, you're like, oof. But then the Q mana cost going up by 30 early, that just hurt. And honestly, I kind of feel like that still plays a bit too much into the, hey, let's just Q you for free money deal. Because it used to be when it was like 30 mana and refunded 30 mana if you killed a unit with it. It's like, yeah, you can use that to last hit, but not getting as... I don't know. This is just like personal opinion, but not getting as... Not fully refunding that if you last hit something just kind of feels bad and also punishes the GPs who are using their Q to farm. But oh well. Other than that, we see the Udyr locked in for the side of New Hampshire, that is kind of interesting. Udyr he's not been really too much of a high priority pick recently, to say the least. He is a little similar to Skarner and Volibear in that he can run at you fast and then slap you. But Volibear and Skarner tend to be slightly higher priority since Volibear flips you into his team and Skarner drags you into his team, whereas Udyr just gives you the bear slap.
This could also just be a bear slap to stop Volibear from getting too close to the enemy carry. But, you know, once you insert a Scion into that equation, it's a lot harder to say we can counter their engage because Scion immune to all of their shenanigans. And if you lead with that, then if you have to blow a bunch of stuff on Scion to try to keep him away from your carry, then here comes Volibear with the flank, and this time there are no cooldowns left to stop him in his tracks.
Yep, gonna see the Scion locked in for Eternal Crystal. Scion probably going that Comet, although we have seen some other options. We have seen the Glacial Augment Scion, and Grass Scion still technically works, and you could even go Aftershock if you wanted to, but most likely going to be that Comet just for that annoying harass in that top lane. And going to be the Cho'Gath here for Volcanos. He did pretty decent on that earlier in the game 2. Well, he had a bit of a hard time in lane. It's just once he got magic resistant a lot. And yeah, we got about 3 minutes 30 seconds, 3 minute spectator delay before we get into game. Any thoughts that jump out at you looking at these positions, Justin?
I like New Hampshire's composition. They're very they're super magic damage heavy, so maybe I take that back. But, you know, if you ignore that, then they at least have damage, and they're also just this really powerful protect the Kog'Maw composition, right? They don't have super tons of engage, but maybe with a Kog'Maw you don't want to engage. You want to wait for them to come into you and then make a mistake or two as they're trying to tunnel vision onto your Kog'Maw. But yeah, it is worrying that like if Udyr elects to go for Phoenix, then it's going to be super easy for Rutgers to itemize against them. We didn't see that really bite which team was it that went super magic damage heavy last time? Or the last game? I guess we didn't see like
last game it was Rutgers, yeah. Yeah, because they had the Skarner Vladimir and
yeah, and then their Shin's Out, or the enemy Shin's Out just went full damage, so I guess that game didn't even really last long enough for... They have a bunch of MR on their team, let's all stack... So they have a bunch of magic damage on their team, let's all stack MR, and then we'll be able to outscale them. So that didn't even come into play last game. Another thing, I guess, about UNH, so I guess my favor towards their team composition is dwindling the more that I think about it, but knowing how fast these games go, they elected to go for a Kog'Maw, so...
I mean, Kog'Maw does have the insane compared to Tristana, who needs at least 2.5 items before she really spikes into the fruit.
Right, but like the Tristana snowball is just... It's a thing that exists. It's not like it's not a Kha'Zix snowball or anything like that in the early to mid game, but you know, it's possible, and it was such a huge accelerant in the last game.
Yeah, not to mention if Tristana gets snowballing in this lane with alphas on the Alistar, this is an all-in lane, so if you get ahead, you can keep going in and punishing them. It's like, oh, you walked within 900 range of my support. Here's an Alistar going in and comboing you with an Ignite while I just throw the bomb on you and kill you. It's like, if you're Shinzu and the breadstick, like, well, what do? We can't walk in range, but if we stay back here, we just keep losing PS and EXP. So we fall even further behind. So yeah, that will definitely make life suck, although Rutgers is going to have a bit of a hard time getting to the Kog'Maw, considering how Best Cannon NA and Eternal Crystal going to have to get through 3 beefy boys and a Lulu peeling for Shinzu before they even get onto Shinzu. So yeah, that could provide some troubles coming into team fights. We'll see how it plays out.
I do like UNH's tank line, but it's just going to come down to does Sion pick a good direction to, you know, take the unstoppable train in and slam down some nudes and slam down some void puppies. On the bottom side of the map, I think Volibear and Tristana and Alistar, if they aren't able to make something happen before Galio hits 6, then it's just going to be a lot harder for them to
sure.
do that, but that's going to be their ticking time bomb, because after that the all-in just becomes so much more of a risk. Corki can follow up with package,
sure.
but a Corki gank versus a Galio gank, one's definitely better, especially if it's a counter gank or a counter engage.
Yeah, not to mention if we do go to later team fights, even though Cyan, well, this is going into the Cyan pack, even though Cyan is arguably the best tank top laner in the game right now, according to win rate and a lot of high Evo players' opinions. It's like his CC and damage is telegraphed, and also his damage falls off late game. So when he charges in late game, it can be easy for Shinzu to at least just like dip and dive out of that ulti, just with Lulu polymorph speed, or even dipping out of the Q to avoid that. That's going to give Eternal Crystal and Bestkin and NA issues, for sure, at least going into the late game team fights. Because if you don't have damage to put down this Kog'Maw, he's just going to be happy to sit there and just keep DPSing down your front line.
Magic resistance stacking is always a problem, I think. Or it's always going to be a problem as long as this game continues. And with stuff like Adaptive Helm pretty much built to counter Kog'Maw, let's see. Yeah. We'll have to see if they're able to pick that up before Kog'Maw becomes too much of an issue.
Yeah. Triple backflip, going for the aftershock, opting for a more tanky Udyr rather than, like, I don't know, perhaps a press. I'm not entirely sure on, like, Udyr runes, because I haven't really seen him in Season 8, but I assume, like, press the attack's also an option if you want yes-orientated Udyr. Or he just, like, runs in and starts slapping you like a madman till...
What has he got right now? Is that Guardian or Aftershock?
Okay. Aftershock. Guardian, I don't know. Guardian would sound kind of selfish on it. Why? It's like you just... Because you gotta be near a teammate or shield them to do that, and Udyr can't naturally shield a teammate, so he has to, like, run by a teammate while they take damage and then run at you.
Man, I don't even know what to expect for Udyr builds anymore, because the only Udyr exposure I've had ever, really, at any sort of high level, is just watching Trick 2G, and last time I watched him, he went Nashor's Tooth AP Phoenix Udyr, so... Something tells me that's not the go-to build right now.
Yeah, like, Trick is definitely a talented Udyr player, it's just like, if you're watching the videos he uploads to you, you don't fully trust him, because, like, he's just dropping disrespect on kids.
I don't think he or Searches are playing on accounts that are, like, at their highest level, you know? That's part of their entertainment values. They're not supposed to be... They're supposed to be handily winning games.
Yeah. But, yeah, we got a bear versus a man who can be bear in the jungle. We'll see how that shapes out. And again, we see a triple backflip starting that top side. Let's see if Shinzu and the breadsticks decide to hide. Does not look like it, so that is going to tell Rutgers, hey, the backflip started top side. Granted, their bot lane triple backflip is probably not going to be looking lane, because it's like, if you're an Udyr just running at him, it's like, alphas can just knock you back with the headbutt, and Ondas can just always jump buster shot you. So that's probably not going to be where we see here. Actually, now that I think about it, the only lane triple backflip can really easily gank is probably Eternal Crystal.
Sorry, I think you trailed off a little bit there.
Oh, yeah. The only really easy to gank lane for triple backflip is probably Eternal Crystal top lane. Since Cyan doesn't really have escapes on because, like, if he runs mid, Virtue just Valkyrie, so he'd have to get a setup Dio created there. And if he runs bot, as I previously mentioned, Ondas just hops away or just...
I think he's got a pretty good counter gank setup once Dioker is able to hit 6 though. If they can do a 4-man engage or 4-man re-engage bottom if Best Kendra NA tries to tries anything after level 6 is reached by the mid laners. But triple backflip's going for a jungle invade while Best Kendra NA goes for the gank, the flip, and the knock-up from Decimating Smash. So just barely not able to finish off. Total Crystal's in way deep. Volcana's gonna get the return. But a first blood and an assist over to Best Kendra NA. It's definitely a worthwhile trade. That turret, if you look at the minion wave, pushing way into the side of Volcanos. So if Volibear returns and shoves that into the turret, he loses even more.
Yep. Plus also the wave will bounce back towards Eternal Crystal. Since Volcanos doesn't have a flash, he's gonna have to go up for that CS, and he is gonna be put at an in risk going for it, because Best Cannon and NEEC can just always repeat that gank, because Cho'Gath doesn't exactly have dashes to just zoom away from.
Yeah, that is such a gankable lane, to be honest. So looking at that, means Volcanos had to teleport back in the lane in order to not lose the wave or two. Whoa, a flash stun. Alpha is going to go down. Triple backflip actually picked up that kill. I think that was maybe a... Not really sure what that was. Was that Bear Stance bleed? Or Tiger Stance?
No, Bear Stance doesn't have bleed.
Tiger Stance, sorry, not Bear.
Did he use Tiger Stance?
Let's like take a look at this real quick, because again, this...
He's got 1 point and
1 point
Stance,
Phoenix.
So use that.
He's got nothing in Turtle.
Because he...
That's curious.
Because he doesn't have Red Buff or Red Smite, which would be immediately what I think. Yeah, it's Red Buff or Red Smite, but no, he doesn't have that. So I don't know.
Maybe he's just kind of feeling things out right now, you know? I'd be surprised to see him choose Phoenix, because that would make his team almost 100% magic damage.
Yeah. I mean, that you don't typically see Phoenix stands for nowadays.
Volcanize, you can silence the Scion when he's raising his axe up into the air for 3 seconds, and he can avoid yourself a lot of damage. Maybe it was off cooldown until right then, but I thought he was going to turn around and silence him, and then just gets smacked in the face instead.
Yep. For New Hampshire's bot lane, they do definitely have the flank advantage, because Shinsu can always just step up with his W activated, and there's no way Ondas can trade that as Tristana. Especially now with the recurve bow. I'm gonna be able to just apply that even more alongside with the recurve bow's extra 10 damage on hit. So that should help give him a advantage in this lane, especially with the...
There it is. There's the silence. Well, it does put it on a very short cooldown coming out, so maybe not totally worth it. That is a hard lane for Cho'Gath.
Yeah, at least Volcanos does have the Cho'Gath passive, which gives him some sustain.
Oh my god.
Did they rework that? No, it's still the same thing.
Eternal Crystal's playing Whack-A-Mole, and Volcanos is barely able to juke around.
Volcanos does have the grasp if he's ever able to get up from Crystal, but I imagine he's gonna have a hard time doing so just through the Roar of the Slayer and the Decimating Smash, I believe.
He doesn't even want to walk up the trade with Eternal Crystal from what we're seeing so far. It means that Grasp of the Undying is pretty much wasted. Triple backflip's here for the game.
Well, here comes Triple Black.
He's level 4 right now. I guess both junglers are, but Eternal Crystal is electing to run away. This Phoenix stands for a little bit of extra damage. Best Cannon NEEC is now here for backup. Speaking of backup, has flipped triple backflip back. But Eternal Crystal is able to run out of that one alive, and triple backflip, does he have the bear stance to escape that time? Let's have to see. Eightfuls picks up the kill onto Dioker after a great flank around the bottom middle, after the end of the, backside of the middle turret. Wow. I guess I wasn't expecting that gank either, because I just did not have the words for that.
Yeah, that's that's a level 4 Alistar coming up. 6.5 minutes in the game, like, oh yeah, here I am. Gracefully secures the kill from his mid laner. I think Virtue probably could have got that one just fine by himself. Although it's better to be safe than sorry.
Yeah, you don't want to play with tower damage that early into the game. But that was like a smoothie level of Alistair roam right there. I was definitely not expecting that one. Shit.
Yeah, interesting. We see the bot lane of oh god, New Hampshire taking an early Cloud Dragon. But that is going to be kind of handy if you get it. Just give me that extra out of combat move speed, especially to triple backflip and Dioker. Triple backflip, gonna like it because when he's running into lane and he hasn't been in combat yet, it is gonna help him close the gap, of course. And then with Dioker, it's just gonna help him get into a position to use that hero's entrance on a teammate.
And also considered the teamfight setup that Rutgers needs to pull out in order to get a good teamfight just becomes that much harder if the enemy's moving 15 movement speed faster before you actually start the fight.
For sure. Because having that extra 15 movement speed, if External Crystal wants to ult in, just have... Or no, it's 25 move speed now.
25,
having that extra...
Whoa!
Having that little extra chunk of move speed might be the difference between dodging and ulting and not. But we do see a fight break out.
Volcanos did land the good knockup, but that is a lot of damage from an ulted Volibear. He's going to pick up a kill onto the enemy Cho'Gath. Cho'Gath's not having a fun time. He's down 15 CS. Dioker's going to win this trade against Virtue, but on the fallback, he's taking a little bit to the backside. This fleet footwork just for a little extra heal. The Winds of War do so much more damage. Ooh, another knockback onto Virtue.
Again.
I thought that was going to be Alistair again coming out the backside when I saw the Shadow of Udyr, but Dioker's winning this trade.
Yeah. Best and NA is stealing triple backflips red, but triple backflip a little long.
Ah, that is a squishy bear, man. Man bear pig. Virtue picks up that one for himself.
Yeah.
Dioker had to pull the flash after immediately regretting the charge in. Oh, gets this one blocked by Best and NA. The Polymorph's gonna save him for a little bit longer, but here comes Andes jumping down into 2 enemies. Gonna pick up 1 kill. The other one went over to Corky, but wow, that is a huge fight in the mid lane. After they didn't even take down the bottom turret, that was just a straight up bottom lane roam.
Yeah, looks like Shinzu might also be in danger here. I say might, but he is.
Totally dead.
Pretty huge. That's what? 4 kills picked up for the side of Rutgers. That is going to help them jump to a 5k gold lead before the 10-minute mark, which is pretty huge.
Like I said, these are fast games. Picking Kog'Maw, you're hedging a lot of bets. Picking a Kog'Maw into this matchup, or not even this matchup, but like champion-wise. Literally, just these 2 schools have been going at each other really hard from the very beginning of each game.
Yeah, not to mention just taking down the mid tower as the first one, gonna really open up the map for Rutgers. Gonna give Bestkin and NA and Virtue a lot of room to play around with when they're roaming. So yeah, that is gonna make life that much more scarier for the side of New Hampshire.
I do want to point out though,
the wall that goes.
I like their roaming strategy, right? Like normally you'd expect Pierre just to roam down to the bot lane and try to make things happen that way. But if you're Rutgers University, you're worried about Hero's entrance being a problem. Instead, you just bring the fight over to Galio, and he can't even hear his entrance if he's the one that dies first. Eternal Crystal is gonna be the one that dies this time. Does it? Look at that little juke. I think maybe he just didn't charge up long enough for the knockup. Volcanos has to flash for that kill. Might even die to the Scion passive. Is gonna go down. So a 1-for-1 trade in the top lane. A little bit of assist gold going over to the rest of UNH, but this side. Shinzu's gonna die to Apools and Andes. 9 to 3 kills now for this matchup. Apools did pop the ultimate. Maybe a little bit of a waste. The best candidate A wants to fight triple back, but they're even in levels of triple back is very low. We're both still burning. Oh, he didn't circle around the tower. He's just trying to like to go this way towards the breadsticks. There's the wild growth. Try to keep this fight going a little bit longer. Best candidate A has his passive still, but I don't think he's gonna win this fight. There it is. Oh my God, he's still regenerating. Spoke a little bit too early.
Not having the previous wins against the Follow Bear will that team. Although, yeah, Best Kid and NA thinking he had the kill there, but triple backflip. Thankfully getting some help from his homie, the Breadsticks. And able to turn that around, especially with the Polymorph and the extra on-hit damage from the Lulu.
Well, Breadsticks doing his best to mirror Apools' wild roaming this game, at least.
Man, this kind of hurts for the bot lane. Andes already finishing up the BF sword and shift, so he is definitely happy, giving him a bunch. Shinzu has yet to finish his Ginsu's, and Ginsu's on Kog'Maw is just such a huge power spike. Being able to get that.
The blading phase is already over before you can finish like a major component. That really sucks.
Yeah, he's just sitting on the recurve bone pickaxe, so he's behind in both attack speed and attack damage compared to Andes, which. Not something you really want to see if you're an ADC.
Uh-oh. Maybe a little bit of an explanation for Dioker's 0-2 score. Look, we've got mass disconnects coming from the side of University of New Hampshire.
Oh God, did I get DDoSed by that hacker 4chan?
That 400-pound hacker 4chan. Turns out the 400-pound hacker 4chan goes to Rutgers.
Or maybe they just all live in the dorms side of DC.
Okay, we've got some reconnects coming in. All 5 members of UNH have DC, but that sticks us back in. At the very least.
Yeah. Because I know at Tech, the dorm's Wi-Fi is really shaky if you're not playing with an Ethernet. So it could very easily be the same at Rutgers if they're all there. I don't know, we'll see. I assume they'll get back since they played the first 2 games fine.
How do you pause if you're DC'd? Okay.
You guys paused, we all DC'd. WTF, didn't know if you DC'd too.
So it looks like a server issue. No, I guess not.
Can be a server issue.
No, yeah, no, never mind. That was just Dioker speaking. I thought that was a member of Rutgers talking.
Yeah, Like, we haven't really had serious server issues in, like,
years.
Back in good old Season 2 and 3 EU West. Servers literally on fire. Constant complaining about it. And then Riot finally fixed it and people were like, yeah, we're cool.
Yeah, we've got an unpause. I didn't see any other reconnect announcements, but usually those are a little flaky. Okay, yeah, they're all moving.
Looks like... Yeah. Could just be auto attack commands issued before the pause. But I assume they're all back if they say they're ready.
Blue team's gonna pick up Rift Herald at 12 minutes in the game, very early this time. But it just goes to show the advantage that they have over the map, I suppose. They've got 2 outer turrets already. It's pretty disgusting.
Yeah, next dragon spawning is another cloud. Having 2 of those on the side of New Hampshire would be kind of nice, although I'd imagine, well, unsurprisingly, they would probably definitely prefer an
Unstoppable Onslaught. It's gonna force Shinzo to walk the wrong way, though. He knows he's messed up. He's gonna get knocked up and blown up by Eternal Crystal. But another... Okay, another pause. Makes me think maybe that Kog'Maw wasn't all there for that gank. Oh, Lulu DC'd. Uh-oh.
I like how we're paused during the
Gatling gun.
So we just currently hear pew.
This is the stream where we simply extol the wonderful elements of Riot Games sound design. But there used to be this huge bug with Corky Gatling gun.
Oh, Kog'Maw passive too, where he just come on and you just hear boom, boom. Like, God. That was so obnoxious. There are a few other abilities like that too.
We've already seen Shinzao skip jump today. If we'll see any good oldies or see any oldies today after that one. Maybe pausing during Gatling gun is what sets this one off. Because I'm definitely gonna have to reload if that's the case. Alright, our unpause comes through. We'll have to see if we'll have to deal with Gatling gun for the rest of forever. But nope. Thankfully not.
Yeah, they fixed that issue a few patches back,
yeah.
I think. Or at least they fixed it in quotation marks.
They still really haven't fixed the uselessness of Kog'Maw passive though. Probably one of the worst AD carry passes in the game. As a champion that's never supposed to die, here's a passive that only comes into benefit when you die.
Old MF passive was like arguably almost bad, I think. Back when it was just
that strut? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like here's like some flat out of combat was wow, thanks.
Get in position a little, like 0.2 seconds faster for that perfect bullet time. Curse of the sad bullet time. Right?
Yeah. Like it feels really good and then you just get hit by in auto and down so much, it's like wow. Like I don't know, I wish minion autos just didn't have as much of effect as on MF strut.
That's a Cloud Drake Ethan, actually, for Rutgers University. So, UNH picked up the early one, but then after that they've just been hemorrhaging all over the place.
That Cloud Dragon alongside the Mopies on alphas is gonna make him a pretty fast Cal out of combat. We might see him pull off a pretty spooky flank. And it is going to help Best Cannon and H storm people down even better.
So the mid lane has become, or the bot lane has become the mid lane now, and the mid lane has become the bot lane for University of New Hampshire, trying to keep pressure away from their middle inner turret as they've lost all 3 outers just 14 minutes into the game. And if you were watching games 1 and 2, game 1 ended in 25 minutes, game 2 ended in 23, and this is definitely the earliest that we've seen all 3 outer turrets go down so far in tonight's match.
Yep. Granted, not as massive of a gold lead at least, but there is a banner alongside a good old friend Ricktailed. I imagine this mid-inner is gonna go down, although triple backflip has a slap to say about that possibly.
Yeah, there's no flanks this time. They're just going for the 5-man push. They're gonna flip Volcanos in, but triple backflip's on the other side, stunning up the enemy Alistair. I don't think he wants that target. But Andes and Upwells and the rest of the team are still shoving back. Triple backflip has to force out of this one, or flash out of this one rather. They just have too much damage for them to go in fragmented like that. Speaking of fragmented, Volcanos gets fragmented back towards the enemy team. Virtue's on a killing spree. They're going to take down the turret. That banner of commanded minion is still alive. Rift Herald isn't. But they're going to continue this push.
Yeah. That is one of the downsides of this deer. He doesn't run nearly as fast as Skarner and Balden when he engages, due to how spammable his boost stance is.
15-minute inhibitor.
So that does make it easy to shut him down. Yeah.
Owen Wilson would be impressed.
So... Yeah, we're at a 8k gold lead already. We're the side of Rutgers. So things definitely looking up for them. Although with the inhib going down so soon, it should at least be up by the time Baron spawns. So they don't have to worry about that unless, of course,
it's gonna stall this game out a lot. And yeah, you're totally correct. Like, a dead inhib is more of a base problem than an open inhib if the enemy team is threatening Baron. So maybe would have liked to see them save that for, but they, you know, if they're able to fund an advantage later on, they can always just pop back in, kill the inhibitor, and then when the wave shoves in, do Baron.
Yeah, because sadly there isn't any large objectives on the map for them to pick up, so they basically just have to pick a side lane and try and siege down that tower while this is all happening. Although pushing through an 8p Galio is woefully not the best. Granted, Dioka might be opting for a tankier Galio, because he went Abyssal Mask and has a cloth armor. So, although that could easily be Ninja Tablas just to help deal with a double AD carry. Wouldn't be surprising. We already see the backflip in Volcanos on the Ninja Tablas. That's going to be pretty clutch for them.
Yeah, but I expect this game to be over really, really soon, because they've got Banner of Command on Scion and a full magic damage composition. I just checked back on Udyr's ability leveling path, rather, and he's decided to go for a hybrid, looks like a hybrid Phoenix and Tiger Stance build, where he's maxed out Tiger Stance first, but he also has 3 points in Phoenix, and then 1 point in the other 2. Lots of damage early, but we saw he was really the only member of the University of New Hampshire team that was able to get anything done last fight, and then he had to flash out of that one before he went down. And I think Volcanos ended up dying after that. Nobody else on the enemy team was able to get too much damage down. I think just too much tankiness and long-range abilities from Rutgers University during the Tower Siege. Speaking of Tower Siege, they're going to attempt another one over here. Banner of Command has been popped again. I haven't seen it yet, but it was off cooldown just a few seconds ago.
Honda's is a full item ahead of Shinzu right now. Just pretty scary, although we see the 4th pair of Ninja Tablas come out for the side of New Hampshire. That can prove to be a bit of a pain as the game progresses, but it looks like we got a fight.
Yeah, Volcanos getting knocked around a little bit. He's tanky, but he's also, you know, really, really far behind. Gets stunned up one last time. Anda's going to pick up the kill. Pick up the turret as well. There's somebody stacking Demolish, means that's definitely not going to survive. A 5 versus 4 shove now. The middle inhibitor is still dead, means that if you look at Udyr and Kog'Maw, they're defending the base from that. And Demolish wasn't even consumed in the last fight, so it's going to do a huge number on this turret. Anda's taking that turret down less than half.
Demolish cooldown is per turret, I believe.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Because if you're taking the Nexus towers, you actually apply it on both of them while you're in between.
Well, I know for sure he didn't consume the last buff. We're looking at a 5v5 as Volcanos has respawned. These death timers are so short, 18 minutes in the game. Doesn't really matter, as triple backflip just can't seem to catch a break. He's coming around the back.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like we're 19 minutes into the game. It feels like we're like 29 minutes into the game. It's just how fast.
Yeah, these guys are about to take down their second inhibitor turret, and Baron's not even spawned yet, but Best Cannon and is dead. He's going to join Baron down in the depths as Ada's trying to do enough damage to turn this one back around, but triple backflip's picked up the enemy support as well. Dioker's healthy enough to do a little bit more onto Eternal Crystal, who has to flash away. Virtue, now the 2 carries to the side of Rutgers are still alive. He does Valkyrie back in and try to land a little bit more into Volcanos. The damage reduction from Galio ulti is not going to keep him alive, but Dioker has forced himself back into the fight. Winds of War is not going to barely... Shinzu hit the tank! Gets the kill on him, but has to flash backwards before Virtue kills him off. A double kill for Andes. He's jumping back in and trying to finish off Shinzu, and the passive from Scion that entire time was still alive. Gets a few more whacks. And the Cathian surprise, not much of a surprise for Andes at all. He has to run for his life here. Triple backflip can't easily kill him. There's the Tiger Stance lead. Wow, that's a lot of damage from one auto attack. Does take him down, but that's a lot lost for University of New Hampshire.
Yeah, but that is an important fight for them. They did kind of come out on top, helping even out the gold a little, plus also buying themselves some time to just scale up. Because Shinzu was able to DPS freely for the most part of the early section of that fight, well, early and mid-section. But then just the carries of Virtue and Ondas able to clean up on the back end there for the side of Rutgers, helping them bring that here.
They weren't able to take down the inhibitor, but yet another tower picked up. They're going to have so much free reign over this Baron. That inhibitor that we talked about earlier actually isn't just now respawning. So I guess eating my words tonight. But that means that there's still one more super minion wave making its way down in the mid lane.
Yeah, and there are 2 open inhibitors on the side of New. So if they lose a single fight, that is potentially 2 inhibs going down, or even the game. Whereas if Rutgers, they lose a team fight, they're just looking at losing an outer and maybe an inhib.
So this is the support and jungler trying to kill the enemy tank. I guess Virtue was there, but he wasn't having any of that. He wanted to take the blue buff instead. A second dragon, a mountain dragon this time, making taking Baron out from under the noses of University of New Hampshire that much easier.
Yep. New Hampshire, triple backflip popping into what looks to be the Randuin's gonna really help him survive against the double crit carries on the side of Rutgers. And just nullifying all that damage from the carries, it could actually prove to be a problem if this game goes later.
Oh no, yeah, if Shinzo goes down here, I think this is probably going to be close to the end of the game. The Captain Surprise is not telling me his death timer just yet. It's 33 seconds, they're 20 minutes into the game, and they're already beating down on a second member. Dioka's going to go down. The hero's entrance not even enough to keep him alive. He does get a little damage resistance when he uses that. Or I believe, no, he only gets damage resistance from using his taunt. But he's dead. Eternal Crystal's taking up the final next turret. Wow, when did the first one go down? This is just horrible for University of New Hampshire.
I think it fell to supers.
Yeah, they're trying to beat their own records. Each game shorter than the last, and starting the first one off at 25 minutes. That's no small feat. We're looking at 22 minutes for the last Nexus turret to fall from the side of University of New Hampshire, and the last death for triple backflip as well. No doubt. 6 kills on both AD carries on the side of the Rutgers University, and a 22-minute, 30-second victory for them. What a quick best of 3 tonight. We did go to 3 games, ladies and gentlemen. In case you're not aware, that was 2 hours for 3 games.
Yeah.